holiday season. You know, we've been doing prime rib, ribeyes. Tis the season, sorry. I want to do something new, right? If you're looking for that standard traditional prime rib, check back on the channel. We got tons of great stuff. But this time, I want to take some bone marrow, whip it in with some miso, and do a bone marrow miso prime rib. Dang. Delectable. All right. Now, I've done this glaze on a lot of meats, but I've never done it on a ribeye. When I say a lot of meats, I mean a lot of beef. So I think it's going to be fabulous. We've got the grill stabilized and smoking at 300 degrees. Let's get into the action. So if first things first, does that mean second things second?
Yeah, obviously.
I think it does. Yeah. We're starting out with a gorgeous ribeye from Wooden Nickel Farms, and I love their stuff, but if it had bones on it, that'd be your standing rib roast, okay? So it's all coming from the ribeye, your prime rib. You know, we've got a beautiful cut of beef here. Marketing aside, it's a ribeye, okay? But we're gonna cook it as a whole piece. If you've been following the channel, you know I like to scruff the meat.
I love this trick.
Yeah, create nooks and crannies.
It seems like a little thing, but you notice it at the end.
Well, I said the little things are the big things. You know, this is what makes the difference in that crust. And now I'm gonna go ahead and season with just a little salt, pepper, garlic, okay? A little SPG, and not much because we know there's gonna be miso on there, fermented soybean paste, and that carries a fair amount of salt content as well. Look at all that nice fat right there. As that renders out, that collagen breaks down to gelatin. These are going to become little avenues of flavor, little highways where the rendered fat picks up the salt and just takes it this way. And you know, and that salt is just permeating throughout, creating little pockets of osmosis, and delicious things are happening. But look at how oxygenated and red that muscle is. Oh my gosh, and you might have gone a little aggressive there. I'm okay with that. If you need that picturesque looking perfect smooth steak, live a little, you know, okay, get it in there, okay? So we're not overly salted. This is a large piece of meat. Let's go ahead and take a look at our grill setup. 300 on the nose. Little bit of hickory because we're here in North Carolina today. I am a fat cap side down first. Just the slightest bit of sizzle right there. That's what we want to hear. We're not searing at this point. We're building a slow, educated bark, all right? Once we get a nice caramelization on there, we'll flip it over, and that's when we'll start building our glaze. Speaking of, I gotta get our bone marrow, okay? Canoe cut. So we have access to the marrow. We need to warm that up so it gelatinizes so we can whip it into our miso. So now's a good time to do that. We could even call it a smoked bone marrow miso glaze. Add another $20. Why not? You know, why not? All right, we'll let those warm up and then we'll get back into it. 7 ingredients, all right? That's not bad for a no-cook glaze or sauce, okay?
No, it's no cook.
It's no cook. I mean, you don't have to cook it, right? So we're starting out with Aka miso, okay? That's the red version versus the white miso. And if you have white miso at home, don't go out to the store and buy this. Just use the white miso. It's going to be fine. It's a fermented soybean paste, so you get that tangy, that umami, that zippy saltiness that is so fun. You might have heard of miso soup. Well, this doesn't really taste like this in its straight form. It's powerful, right? So we're gonna sweeten it up and bring some balance with a little brown sugar. And I like to use dark brown sugar because it brings that little caramel note. So kind of surprise here. We're gonna put some yellow onions in for texture in the glaze. These are gonna caramelize inside that really nice bark that's created by the sugar. Now I want some liquid in there, a little bit of soy sauce. I know we said it's salty already. I'm using a less sodium, but it does bring a nice toastiness that we're looking for. Toastiness, is that a word?
Totally.
Yeah.
Toastily. Oh, that's bad.
Toastily, nice. Rice wine vinegar, always seasoned rice vinegar. You know, it just seems a little more mild. Not too much liquid because... It
smells amazing already.
Yeah, these are big, bold flavors. All right, secret of the day. This liquid in here, in the pickled ginger, is one of my favorite ingredients. Top 3 ingredients to sneak in to a sauce. And people are like, wow, why is that so delicious? Well, partially because of the MSG, but also because it's got a little bit of that gingery spice, you know, that is just so much fun to play around with. So let's give it a swirl. And again, I don't know if I really spoke to this very well, but I did put that, we did place that prime rib on the grill, fat cap side down, before we put this on there. With the sugar content and the miso, it would burn up right off the bat. Plus, I want the natural caramelization of just the salt, pepper, garlic, and fat cap crust to create. Then slather this on a little bit, and then as that crust up, maybe even another layer. Educated layers, okay? This is gonna be a complex, nothing complex about it except for the big, bold flavor experience you're gonna get, but layer upon layer, just like we're dry basting. So that's where we wanna be. And that is a fun little glaze ready to go, except it's missing one ingredient.
Uh-oh, did we forget it?
The bone marrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, what?
The smoked bone marrow.
Whoa.
I want it to go a little, here's where we are right now. You know, it's pliable, but I really want it to be roasted. Okay, I want to wake it up a little bit. Just like a dried chili needs to be toasted to get its big, bold flavors. We want to wake up those essential oils and bring out the beefiness. And can you imagine that beefy crust mixed with the miso and the pickled ginger we snuck in there?
Yeah, excited.
This is going to be a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. About 5 more minutes on those babies. We'll finish this glaze and then take a look at the top and see if it's time. It's been 5 minutes. We're on to marrow. I can see that marrow has begun to drip. We're getting some smoke from that.
Marrow smoke?
Yeah, marrow's. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that's right where we want it. We got some nice caramelization there. Let's get this marrow off and into our glaze.
I'm interested to see how this part works.
Oh, it's gonna work swimmingly. All right, look at that, gelatinized.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. So right into, and it's hot, so give yourself a nice little something to put in your hand. Oh yeah. And this is as beefy as it gets, you know. This stuff is so fun. You can save these for presentation if you want. I'm just gonna get rid of them. I've seen restaurants that do luges of mezcal with these things afterwards. Whatever you want to do. Look at that. All right, now we macerate it. You can put this in a blender if you like. I like the onions just like that. Yowza. That is beefy, tangy. The sugar, the brown sugar, was enough to kind of smooth out and balance the salinity of the small bit of soy sauce and miso, but that bone marrow, that roasted smoky, there's that smoky after bit. Oh, it's lovely. Let's go ahead and put our first thin glaze
already
on our cap. Yeah, oh, I mean, we're rocking and rolling here. All right. Oh, yep. That is a thing of beauty. Now we don't want to go crazy with this because we're going to put several layers on it, but and I use a gloved hand or a spoon to kind of get in those nooks and crannies. Don't be too aggressive. You don't want to knock off any of that caramelization. Oh, that is it. Oh, don't forget about the sides too, you know. Arts and crafts here today on the Kamado Joe channel. Arts and crafts. And so that's the thinner part of the ribeye. You know, let's spin it around so you can see that deckler, that spinalis right there. One of my favorite parts of the whole entire steer. You're getting a hickory bone marrow smoke going on here. This is fabulous. Okay, so we're still stabilized at our 3 hundo. We've flipped, and it's, I don't know, I bet we got, it's hard to say, right? There's mathematical equations out there just like your turkey, you know, what is it? For every 10 pounds, 1 hour, I don't know what it is.
Do 5 jumping jacks.
Yeah. But what we do have is one of these guys, okay? I'm not gonna slice these, this prime rib into steaks and then reverse sear, which has been a very popular thing that we've done in the past. Here, we're just gonna finish by slicing them. I'm looking for a temperature of about 128 degrees here. That sounds silly, let's just call it 125. I'm looking for that 128. And we'll take it there, then we'll let it rest, and it'll probably, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just get there first. Let's build up a nice crust. We'll keep checking back, see if we need another layer of baste. Things are looking beautiful. Still parked at 3 hundo. I'm liking the smoke we got. Let's take a guess. Yeah. I mean, that's just stunning. But we can see this right here. I want more there. Let's take a temperature while we're at it. I'm gonna guess.
Here we go.
I'm gonna guess 105. 106.
Wait.
106. I can't quite do it. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I took a temperature off camera right beforehand. I'm not that good, but I do want to hit this. I want a little more caramelization. You know, we got what we said we were gonna do 125, 128.
128.
So we got 20 more degrees to go. What a great opportunity to kind of spot check.
Oh.
And baste a little where needed. I don't think anything's needed here. Again, this is a powerful thing. So I'll show you this other side that I'm hitting as well. But anywhere that didn't get good coverage, you want to tack up like that.
Dang.
Yeah. So this is looking stunning. I'll move you back to the middle here. Oh, you know what? I might even get better caramelization there if I got closer to the dome there. Just hedging my bets a little bit. And we'll kind of let that baste. All right, probably about 10 to 15 more minutes. You know that dog's name over there?
Yeah,
That dog is about this big, and his name Buttercup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a buttercup.
I don't know if it's a Princess Bride reference or what, but oh yeah.
Speaking of princess,
Oh, Joe, just
look at that
busted
beauty.
up that crust right there. We're gonna kind of paint that back on. Very good.
Arts and crafts.
Yeah, so we're at 125. And I always remind people to do this. Anytime you take a temperature, use your finger and kind of prod the meat as well so you can build context, right? That way you know what you're seeing, you know what you're feeling, and if you don't have your thermometer, well, after 5 years of doing it, whether it's chicken or beef or anything, you've got context to what it exactly is. Now, we're going to let this sit and rest. I hate to say it, that's about a 15-minute rest. That's a big chunk of meat. We could rest a little longer. It's at 125 right now. I expect this to raise up another, let's call it 8 degrees Fahrenheit. And what's happening there is the heat that is still trapped in this, you know, the particles are still moving fast. Some of that heat is going to dissipate into the ambient cool air, and some of it is going to head internal and continue to cook this meat. So we're going to let it rest. It's going to finish cooking right here on the board, and then it's going to kind of loosen up and let all those juices distribute. If we slice into it right now, boom, juices all over the cutting board. That's juice that isn't in every single bite that you're taking. So we did a lot of cool stuff. It'd be a shame to mess it up by not letting it rest. I hate letting things rest. I can't look at it. It's like, this is like, you know, it's the holidays. For me, this is Christmas come early. I just want to slice it and take that first bite. Especially, oh my gosh. But, what do you think, Nathan? 15 minutes?
Yeah, so 7.
See, if we cut now, we come back to it, it'll fit, no, yeah. 15 minutes, 15 minutes. We waited 15 minutes for reals. That's looking great. You know, just superb. What do we want to do for the reveal here? Do you want to do the old Instagram down the middle, you know, look, or do we want to slice this like we...
the gram.
Nah, we're going to slice it like we would at home. And you would use the heel pieces or the end pieces for those folks that wanted them done just slightly more, which makes sense, okay? As one of my Korean chefs used to say in New York City, she was about 5 foot tall. That's how Daddy makes pancakes. You know, just she was amazing. All right, look at that.
What do we call this again?
I think it was like a smoked bone marrow miso prime rib. It's just getting prettier and prettier, you know. And then when you're slicing them, you turn that, or I'm sorry, stacking them rather on your platter, you'll turn that last one over. And so it, you know, you're always showing the meat, and you've got a slight angle there. And then check this out. We're going to take our sauce here, but look at this board. We'll take some of that juice.
Oh, I like this trick.
And we're going to go right into the sauce, scrapings and all. And we'll create this board sauce. Good sauce viscosity, consistency. Nappe, what we like, that line stays. Yep, we like that. Golly. And then we'll just go right down the middle, or you know, however you like. Have it on the side for everyone. Bring it all together with a little greenery. Bit of a knack for the theatrics. Put your bones on there.
Oh yeah, you got it, right?
Do what you like. For those of you skeptical of the miso bone marrow glaze,
Don't be.
there it is. All right, yeah, that's stunning. I want a little corner cut. I want that guy right there.
Yeah, I was eyeballing that.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, there's a lot, but
Yeah. And usually I do a dip, but I want to taste that, you know, that beautiful crust that we made on the outside there. Nice looking temp. Aromas are a 10 out of 10. Dude. Yeah. That's the one for this year. That's the one. The beefy umami just goes whoop. If there was a sound effect for this, it would be whoop. You know, that's fabulous. The bone marrow is just brilliant. Start tapping into that a little bit, if nothing else. But this was fantastic. I'm going to be recreating this for our New Year's meal for sure. So, anyways, so folks, as always, from our backyard to yours, cheers. Oh my gosh, and happy grilling.